6 by spending a plot point. Generally, that's probably not the most powerful thing you could do with a plot point, but if you just need to kind of have your character dig deep and push themselves, that works. You can add in some extra traits from a trait group. You can add a stunt die from your power dies or specialty. And what that means is basically it's similar to a push, except that it is a little larger and it is relevant to your superpower. So, an example used in the book has to do with Storm, that she has weather control powers, but she could specifically do a stunt to not just like cause the wind to get up, but cause the wind to pick up to create like a a sandstorm that has a blinding element. And so it's kind of a new and different use of her powers relative to what we've seen in that continuity so far. Stunt basically is just a special thing that a person with powers does with their powers once for a plot point. Because that's also where it comes from within the comics, is that characters will do power stunts, and the Flash will phase through a wall, and we've never seen that happen before, but it's sort of related to his ability to move really fast and vibrate at the right speed and all that sort of stuff. All right. Um, you can also use plot points to use more dice once you have rolled your dice. And so this is a big thing that, for instance, if you have a dice pool of like 6 dice, you could use a plot point to have 3 dice. The sum of 3 dice count towards your total rolled for that action. You could also use a plot point to use another effect die. So basically, if you were like fighting a couple of thugs and you're like, oh, I've got a big total level of my sum of my dice, but I've got some extra dice here. I could use a plot point to essentially do damage and basically like hit another guy, or hit a target multiple times, or do hit somebody and create an asset. However you want to do your thing. Um, you can also do stuff like activating opportunities, which is when I roll ones. Similarly, you get a chance to take advantage of that. Um, let's see. Activate certain special effects in a power set. We talked a little bit about use an effect die from a reaction roll. So this is a thing when one character operates on another, both characters will roll their pool. Normally, if the defender succeeds basically in the opposed test, for lack of a better term, it just cancels out the other action. But if you use a plot point, you can essentially you can counterattack or create an asset or whatever else, basically have your role count as an element of an action also, which is kind of a cool thing. And change stress you've taken to another type, which is sort of a big thing in here, that you could, take emotional damage when you just got hit in the face, so that you can get hit in the face for longer. Kind of classic, comic books, get mad instead of get hurt, that sort of thing. Um, and that's a lot of the kind of plot points, what they do. We'll go over some of the specifics in play, and when I like see things that I'm like, hey, you could use a thing here, we'll talk about all of that. But basically, they're your meta currency, and they're pretty powerful. How you get them, like we talked about, you have your distinctions. When you roll a d4 from your distinctions, you get a plot point. You also get them pretty much on all of the limits on your power sets. They come with plot point bonuses. You can also um, have certain effects from me grant plot points based on the results of rolls. And in any other situation where there's a distinction, because also in addition to characters having distinctions, scenes can have distinctions. So, for instance, Martian Manhunter does not really like fire. So if we were in a scene where like you were, trying to get through a hallway and there's a fire in the hallway, then Carl, as Martian Manhunter, could say, okay, well, I'm going to add that distinction to my roll as a D4, same way I would with the character distinction, and get my plot point at the cost of having a lower die added to the pool that is much more likely to roll a 1 than my, D10 or D12.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So,
Any
so I
questions so far?
no, I just wanted to. So, I'm fighting with the team. I'm gonna just use my godlike strength and punch somebody. So
Hmm.
then I'm gonna roll the pool and see if what happens. Um, and the cool there's a roll at the bottom too.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I really like they put the dice pool and the roller at the top
Right.
and the bottom.
So what does that mean?
All right. So what that means. So you rolled big on one of your d6s and on your d8,
Hmm.
right? So we've got rolling, it shows 0 d4s, 2 d6s, 1 d8, 0 d10s, and 1 d12. And it's doing
Hmm.
keep two because that's normally how we resolve the total result. So it's doing the math for us.
Okay.
So out of everything, you rolled a four, a six, an eight, and a three. So it's
Hmm.
grabbed your highest two, your six, and your eight to get a 14. So a 14 would be the result of your action. That's basically like your roll on a d20 in a d20 based system, right? That's whether or
Hmm.
not you succeeded.
Okay.
Um, because your D12 didn't roll very well for your result, that's sort of good in this case because now you can use your D12 as your effect die. So basically, if you were trying to punch somebody, if they don't defend better than a 14, you've hit them for a D12's worth of stress,
Hmm.
which is the most stress they can take and still be in the fight. Any more than that, and they're knocked out. So that's a potentially a pretty big hit.
Hmm.
And you can see also, for instance, if you had a plot point available, you might say, oh, well, I could make that even more dangerous by spending one plot point and keeping that extra d6 that rolled a four. Also, now my
Hmm.
total is an 18, so they need to roll an 18 or more on their
Hmm.
defense in order to protect themselves, that sort of thing.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, so like I just added a D8 from the affiliation, and then it's where it says godlike strength for Green Martian. It says I can add a D12, like it gives you like the different dice to add there on the right side, and then I say I use expert punching, expert combat, and I just added 2d6 because that's what it says for expert 2d6 to add. Um, mhm. Yeah, so like on for the affiliation, you just put a D, just go up one, right? Just press the arrow up. Hmm. Yeah, well, just go up one. Like under the dice pool, like you can put. Oh yeah, you can do that. Right under affiliation, you can add D8. Yeah, exactly. That yellow button. And hmm
Oh. No,
uh,
it added one. I was just messing with it to make sure on yours. Sorry. Um, no, you just press.
and
Yeah, so you're going to get a die from basically every section of your sheet normally. So add a D8 for your team. Let's say you're fighting Amazon Warrior seems like it's good, so you can press add D8 next to distinctions also to add another D8 to your pool. All right. Then let's see. First power set, Divine Empowerment. Let's just do your D12 strength. So add a D12 there. Yeah. Then you've also got Amazon artifacts, and that includes a D8 weapon. So why don't we add a D8 there? Yep. Yeah, yeah. Then we've got your specialties, and you've got Master in Combat. So you can add 1d10, 2d8, or 3d6 in, but you can only add one. You get to choose whatever combination of those you want, basically. Not for right now. So then gear, and then it says specialties. Yeah, your combat specialties, since we're imagining this is an attack, 1d10 or 2d8 or 3d6.
You have a choice.
This,
Yeah,
some of this
1d10.
is slowly coming back. I played this when it first came out as just the original Marvel version,
Yeah, yeah.
like just a month after it came out. It was pretty fun.
Yeah. Cool, cool. So you've done everything. We've kind of gone through all the parts of the pool. We're going to say you're not going to do push or stunt or anything like that. Don't have any assets. So now we're at the bottom and we've got our dice pool again, and you can just click roll pool. There we go. So you can see here you have arguably a essentially a very similar result to Carl's roll, right? Carl had 4 dice. His top two resulted in a 14, and then he also had his D12 available for an effect die. You have a really similar thing here, Amy. You've got a 7 and a 7 as your two highest for a 14 effect. And then you also still have your 1d12 that didn't get used for your result that can be used for your effect. So you can hit really hard, basically. Yeah. So that specific effect, you have to basically all of your, a bunch of your effects happen before. So yeah, Lasso of Truth in that same role, basically, we could have said, okay, because you're using the lasso of truth, you're going to add, because everything we used in that would make sense with the lasso. But let's say we'll add the d6. And then if we had, let's say that d6 rolled a 2, so it doesn't affect anything else right now. It's just an extra die in the pool. That step up a effect die by +1 means that D12 as your effect die would be stepped up, which basically, I don't know how that would work necessarily for a complication, but it would be really bad for somebody in terms of being tied up. Because then if somebody else tried to say hit them while they were wrapped up in the lasso, they would get to roll an extra D12 on their punch attack because the person that they're trying to hit is wrapped up in the lasso. Makes sense? Yeah, so if yeah, it doesn't necessarily. So that's the thing is that if you have more dice, your potential results are better, but your actual results are not necessarily better, right? So adding a d6 with the lasso of truth could be useful for you, right? If you rolled a 6 with that one, and then you did, like we said with Carl, right? You could spend a plot point and add 6 more to your total and have a 20, if 20 level attack, basically. That would be extra powerful. Right now, you could only get a 19 at best with one extra die because you've got a 5 as your best result after your sevens. But you see how this so this is one Carl's most recent one with for the optic blast, right?
Yeah, that was
Carl's
pretty weak optic blast.
it's okay.
Mm.
It's not great. You're not gonna, take down Superman with that optic blast. Um, but you still have a D10 effect, assuming that your 9 hits. The other thing that I should mention on reactions, the way that a reaction rolls is that um, the active character does everything that they're going to do, and then the reactive character gets to do a reaction. If their result from their 2 dice is lower, then they still get hit or affected if somebody's trying to make a complication or something. But
Mhm.
if their effect die is larger than the attacker's effect die, then the effect die gets stepped down by 1. So, for instance, let's say you hit somebody with that 9, you kept your D10 for your effect die, but they got, an 8 on their defense, but they have a D12 as their defensive effect die. So that D10 would go down to a D8 for the purposes of that effect.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So then for like reactions, it'd be like reflexes or something if I'm trying to avoid Superman's heat vision, or like intangibility, like in a
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So reflexes to dodge out of the way, but you could also do like, a number of you guys all have really high durability rolls. So you could just be like, oh, I'm just going to
Absorb it.
tank it
Yeah.
with the durability. Um, your Carl, for you in particular, your intangibility only works if your godlike strength and superhuman durability are turned off.
Yeah.
Um, so you have to be in one mode or the other, and you just have to choose the beginning of your turn, and you can change it at the start of your next turn,
Okay. So you
basically.
can't. So you can't like just become intangible. Yep.
Yeah, so you can't become intangible as part of the reaction. I think I that's the way I read it is that you have to choose if you're in intangible mode or
Hmm.
not. Because almost all the other shutdowns you have to
Yeah.
choose ahead of time, the same
Okay.
way.
Okay.
Um, but you still, I mean, you have your D10 durability also, so
Hmm.
intangible might not even be that useful normally if all you want to do is use it for blocking things, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It also have like I can spend a plot point to ignore physical stress or trauma. Oh, trauma, unless it's caused by fire, of course.
Yeah. So this is another like a lot of the characters that have a lot of toughness in the comics have things like that where they can just like spend points to be like that damage doesn't hurt me this time. So using up your plot points, not so great because that's your meta currency, but better than getting
Yeah, taking
affected by a
damage.
big hit.
I can also heal people.
Yeah,
I have psychic healing.
yeah. There's some cool.
That's
Well,
good.
and there's some
Okay.
cool effects mixed in with a lot of the power things. So, like, Wonder Woman has a really fun one that basically allows her to get rid of all of her stress, but it goes into the Doom pool instead. So
Mm,
it's her getting her second wind, and she's fighting at full fitness now, but the scene is getting more chaotic, and villains can hit harder too. So it's kind of a cool. Um,
that's cool.
Narrative version of the kind of the flow of combat and all that.
Okay.
Yes, that's your berserk special effect. You can do basically all of these things as many times in a fight as they apply, but they often have a consequence. So, like your Berserk effect, you can borrow a die from the Doom Pool for one action. After the action, you step it up and return it to the Doom Pool. So, basically, when things get really crazy, you can use one of my special dice in the Doom Pool to do something really crazy yourself, but it gets even more out of control after doing that, right? Yes, borrow a d6, give back a d8, but you get an extra d6 or an extra d8 or an extra d10 on whatever big roll you might have going on that you want to use it for. Yeah, it's a, push your luck, risk reward type
Yeah.
uh,
Cool.
option. All right.
I don't think so. I think I'll pick it up more as we play.
Yeah, and obviously we'll go over things as we play, and definitely as we get into it, we'll all get more familiar with the system because I'm not an expert either. I've just been furiously reading the book this afternoon
Hmm.
to make sure I know it well enough to run it, you know.
Cool.
All right. Well, that's a great segue into uh how the event starts. So I'm going to read the opening narration. 2 years ago, Earth's heroes banded together into a league to protect the world from its greatest threat. 3 weeks ago, another invasion began, not from beyond the stars, but from a crueler version of our own world, led by implacable tyrants known as the Justice Lords. For weeks, the fate of this war has hung in an unstable balance as more and more blood has been spilled across the world. But in the last few hours, the war has changed. Spent from their success, more and more of their warlords have retreated back to their own world rather than fight to the bitter end. The last battle for everything you hold dear is being fought above Washington, D.C., where the Justice Lords have played the last card in their calamitous onslaught, the second to last son of Krypton. And let me move you guys over. Da-dan. So the Justice Lords are an evil version of the Justice League from another dimension. And by evil, I mean basically they're sort of complicated in a lot of the stories because there's a case to be made, I guess you might say, in some of the incarnations of the Justice Lords. But this version is mostly really bad for you guys. Um, so we have the three of our heroes, Superman and Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter, flying up towards what you can see is a pretty seriously war-torn Washington, D.C., and floating above the embattled White House is the Justice Lord's version of Superman. And everybody gets to decide sort of where they are in the scene when the action starts. The way that action works is basically similar to with like some of the D20, the 2D20 games. We have action. The initiative flows back and forth, but everybody gets a turn every round, and whoever has just gone gets to pick who goes next. But of course, at the end of the round, that means that you get to pick who starts the next round. So there's sort of back and forth there. Um, so with you guys, what I'm going to suggest is one of you guys will go first, and then we can pick up initiative from there. And whoever wants to be the opening opening salvo against Justice Lord Superman can decide to do that.
I had an idea, but let you guys decide. I was wanting to turn invisible and try to get behind Superman.
Oh,
I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if that'll work, but
there's an idea.
what do you think? What do you think, Superman?
Well, Superman wants to talk, always wants to, appeal to someone's better nature first. But I don't know how long have we been fighting these guys? Is that
For a couple
clear,
of weeks,
kind of clear that there's
basically.
no appealing to their better nature?
It seems unlikely that you're going to be able to appeal. All of the other Justice Lords have not been swayed. He is the last one on the field, so far as you know. The other ones have all somehow gone back to their dimension when they were in dire straits. So you're welcome to try to talk to him if you'd like to, I guess.
I well, he's me. All right. Let's see
But he's not you, Kal-El.
here.
All right, so I'm gonna turn invisible while they talk.
So
Okay.
I'm going to talk to him to reason with him and also to distract him. How about that?
So this is a good place if we can say, okay, so what precisely does Superman, our Superman, want to do here? Um, if our Superman is trying to distract him by talking to him, then we can say, oh, well, we'll have Superman be rolling to create an asset, and that
Hmm.
asset will then flow onward to whoever else wants to use it, basically, to take advantage of the distraction. If our Superman is trying to appeal to his better nature to convince him to no longer be evil, then that would be probably an emotional attack, basically, to try to inflict emotional stress on him, um, to force him to do what you want, basically. And
So
so,
I'm looking at my milestones. Um, there's it's showing compassion to a foe. It says an old foe. I assume I know this guy already though.
yeah, yeah,
There's
you know a
also
little
you
bit about.
you convince an old foe to try to leave behind their villainous ways
Yeah, so you can
through.
certainly try,
Can you
is
do
what I'm
more than one of
saying.
these? Because there's that one.
Yeah, basically anytime one of your milestones applies, you get to add the XP and just, make sure with me.
So I'm also
Also
going
just
to. Okay. Yeah.
a
Go ahead.
lot of the text boxes with long text, it cuts off
Yeah.
more. So you should everybody double check. There's some right like convince an old foe to leave behind their villainous ways through impassioned pleas, or you realize that your old foe will never, it should be change instead of chance, and give up trying to understand them.
Okay.
Um, he's not going to count as an old foe for you right now because they're pretty new, but that would
Okay.
be, if you encountered Lex Luthor,
All right.
that would be an obvious place for something like
How
that.
about then? Um, I'll just discuss Kryptonian heritage.
Yeah, you
Krypton
can
go.
try to appeal to his Kryptonian nature for
Okay.
sure.
So I will say I assume like me, you are the last survivor of Krypton in your universe.
And so are I guess here's the thing is are
So
you
approach peacefully, I guess, is what I'll do.
okay?
Slowly and
What I'm going to
non-threateningly.
suggest is that how about we have this be kind of pre-battle talk, and
Okay.
then we'll decide who will be like the first battle scene because I don't the first battle action because it
Okay.
seems like you're kind of losing out on your edge by using your first action to talk. I guess is what I would
Hmm.
say to me,
Yeah.
if, assuming that makes sense to everybody else.
I was
Um,
gonna like talk and then throw it to one of them.
Let's have
Like,
you. No, I think this is good. I think we'll have both Supermans floating up above the battlefield before things start, and they'll have one last chance to try to
okay.
reconcile. But Justice
Okay.
Lord Superman turns to you and says, "We are building a world where Krypton never would have been destroyed. You should see the value in that.
Of course, but how are you going about doing that?
You've seen if you had not so rashly attempted to you know, stand against our might would have been an easy transition for your world. You could have joined us.
Well, I'm looking around. I don't know what the Jor-El of your universe was like, but the my father here would have never wanted this to be his legacy.
Hmm. Jor-El in my universe never got a chance to see his legacy, but fathers of Kryptonians going forward will because of my contribution to our society. And now he's going to charge in.
Okay, I had to try. I'm Superman, so
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Carl, if you want to jump out from invisibility and try to do something to intercept, I think that would be a good. You could go first here if you want to.
Do I need to
Otherwise,
roll invisibility, or how do I do that?
so we'll sort of roll it as we're finding out whether or not your invisibility was successful or not,
Okay.
because he will.
Right.
potentially be able to tell that you were there all along and be ready for you, right?
Right. Right. Okay. I'll roll my pool. Ooh, again.
Nice. Big result.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. All right. And no ones on the roll, which is good.
Mhm.
So let me build his reaction pool real quick. He's got that. He has that. He has, I think, none of those, but he does have that. And just for good measure, why not use a little from the Doom pool just because. All right. Oh no, only a 13. So basically, what you can do, I'm going to say, is that you can impose a complication with your highest effect die is a D8, so you can impose a D8 complication on Superman, the
Okay.
bad version, as he is kind of knocked off balance and taken by surprise.
Okay. So just roll a d8 or
No, no,
what?
it's just the D8 will get added to whoever's roll
Oh, okay.
takes advantage of it, basically. So
Well,
he's
Superman clearly if he's going after Superman.
yeah. So you get to pass the initiative to Superman
Mhm.
if you want, and
Yeah.
or to Wonder Woman or whoever, and they'll get to add an extra D8 to their dice pool.
Um.
Here, I can move this down
Okay.
to the other corner so you can fly up there next to him.
Yeah, I'll pass it. Just I think Superman's going to be having to do reaction. That's why I think right. Okay. Yeah, I'll
Well,
try
you don't
to.
have, so just to be clear, you don't have to use it right away on the first thing. So you could save the complication for further if, right, if as Wonder Woman, you want to also create a complication, you could have two complications to pass to Superman if you wanted. Um,
Yeah. Well,
well,
that's a
it's
good
so
idea. The complication can go to the reaction, but I can I pass the initiative to Wonder Woman?
yeah, you can pass the initiative to whoever. The complication is on Superman, evil Superman himself, basically. So whoever wants to use it can use it on him.
Hmm.
Not really an ambassador piece, but probably an Amazon warrior distinction would apply. Yeah, yeah. You do. That's a distinction. So you add a D8 if that applies. Yes. Yeah, yeah. Try to wrap him up with the lasso. Yeah. So you add your weapon effect under Amazon artifacts. Yes. So one more D6. No. But combat.
Like a choice on the D10, I think. Arlen. Oh, we can't. Yeah, Arlen, you're muted. We can't hear you, Arlen.
All right, how about now?
Yeah.
Excellent. No worries. Sorry about that, but yeah, so now Bad Superman is going to try to defend himself. Yeah, that will keep that in mind for the result based on whether or not you get in here. Oh no! Let me double check to see. Compare totals and see which side wins. All right. Let's pause the recording real quick because it's going to take some reading, and everybody can do a bio break. It's okay.
Yep.
But
Yep.
all right. So it turns out attackers win ties. Hidden away on the GM cheat sheet, but that means that you have successfully put an entangling complication on him also. I guess he
That's probably
does.
a
Well, it's not gonna so you can't get any benefit from him telling the truth right now, basically, is mechanically. Yeah. Yeah. So all right. So now you get to decide who to pass initiative to, Amy. Yeah, yeah. Well,
no super.
you can't pass initiative to Martian Manhunter because he's already gone.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. What are you trying to do, good Superman?
So she lassoed him, and the Martian Manhunter did something. What did he do?
I did like a flyby and kind of
Fly
get
by
him
and
off.
got him off balance. Yeah.
Got him
So
off
you got
balance.
a D8
I want
from.
to, if this is too many things at once, tell me. But since he's sort of somewhat restrained and somewhat off balance. I want to fly straight up and then straight back down and pound him into the ground.
Yeah, big hit.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So is that strength, speed, or both?
So I would say it's normally strength, but if you have effects that allow you to add multiple dice from your power set, you could add in speed to that also, of course,
Multi-power.
or
Use more
flight.
than one Kryptonian power in your pool. Step back each one by one. Step back each power by one for each die beyond the first. Okay, I see. So it's probably better to roll 2d10 than, or is it better to roll 2d10 or a d8 and a d12, do you think? Because I have to step one back.
But you have to step both of them back.
Oh, you
Yeah.
do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
step back each power by -1 for each die. So you could step 2d12s down to 2d10. So
Oh, I see. If I
1d12
use 3
versus 2d.
powers, I'd have to step them back by 2. I see.
And if
All
you
right.
use 3 powers, you'd have to step them
Okay,
back for
add a d10, add a d8. And then does combat apply?
yeah.
Combat. So is that a, so it says d8 slash 2d6. How do we know which one to add?
You get to pick. Yeah.
D8. Actually, I'm going to go with a 2d6. And let's see. Anything else that applies?
Got 2 complications on him that you can use. One is a d8 and one is a d12.
Yeah.
Yes, if he wants to
All
use them
right.
up.
I think that's everything. Up,
you can-
up and
yeah.
away, and then down, down, and back again, I guess.
So you can add. Oh, so how did you add? Where did you do? Where do you do that? You just add a. How do you add complications?
You just add to your pool.
Oh,
More
gotcha.
dice. More dice to your pool, basically.
Gotcha.
2d6,
All right.
1d8, 1d10, 1d12. There
Right.
should have been another d8 in there.
Yeah, you can use both. Why not?
Yeah, it is, but it didn't roll it for some reason.
Oh, you roll one more d8 manually if you get higher than if you get a 7 or higher. Oh yeah, so there we go.
14.
That's now a 14 result. Nice. All right. Uh, much like good guy Superman, bad guy Superman can do some cool stuff with his Kryptonian physiology powers. And I guess I will use one from. No, I'll save it for. Oh no!
Yeah. Or,
So he basically in using the entangled complication, we used up that status for him. So he got knocked around, but he probably was able to just essentially tank the hit because he used his durability power as his big thing. So we have our Superman flies up into the air and smashes down into bad Superman, but when the dust clears, bad Superman just kind of floats back up into the air like he does as a villain and says, really? Is that the best you can do in this world? And then he gets to put some hurt onto you guys. It's his turn. So, yeah. So he is going, I think he did not like, since Martian Manhunter was the first who came at him, I think he might try to grab him. Um, no, he's going to go after Big Superman. our Superman. Um, that he's going to do is and then he is going to all of those. So you guys have been doing a good job of not rolling any ones, which is good because that means I don't have very much in my doom pool, fortunately. So big punch on Big Superman. Rolled a 15 to hit you, Superman. So now you have to defend yourself.
Okay. And is that just, do I have to pick what powers I'm going to use to resist?
Yeah. Same, build up your dice pool, all the things that apply. I will
Okay.
suggest, because you have a lot of pretty tanky powers, and you can get a lot of dice out of those, this if you can figure out a way to use your distinctions, you can use them positively, right? So Man of Steel is pretty good for getting hit and keeping going. But if you can use them negatively, right, that's also how you get power plot points, and
Where
that can be
is
useful too.
where is Man of Steel?
Under
Distinctions.
your distinctions, right up near the top.
Yep.
Oh, I see. Add, is that a D8 or a D4?
So you get a D8 if it's positive, a D4, and a plot point if it is negative. The Man of
Okay.
Steel
Man of
presumably is
Steel.
going to help you take a hit.
I'm going to do that. I got combat, and then I'm going to use, well, again, my double Kryptonian power to for both durability and stamina to just sort of just stand there and take it. Like,
Nice.
just let it bounce off.
Yeah.
And let's see if I have anything else I can do.
And you also did you add your D10 for team?
Oh, I didn't do that last time. I should have done
Ah,
that.
well, there we
Oops.
go. Extra dice.
All right. Oh,
Oh no. So this is a place where if what you wanted to do was to avoid, so that one, that's nice for me because now we're starting to get the Doom pool going.
Yeah.
Luckily, they started at D6 when they get added. But also, this is a place where you can decide. So you could spend a plot point in order to use another die for your total result, and therefore you would be higher than him, right? Because you use that 5,
Yeah.
be it 19, yeah.
what happens if I don't?
If you don't, then you took the hit. He has a D8 of effect dice, and you have a D10 of effect dice. So, a D8 and a D10 effect die. So that means that his effect die would be stepped down to a D6. So he would do D6 physical stress against you.
Okay.
D6 physical stress. You could also, because you are Superman, just ignore with a plot point if you wanted. Or you could take it and be a little bit worn out, but not very badly.
Let's just take the hit for now.
All right. Bad Superman comes up strong, hits our Superman with a big uppercut, knocks him back a little bit, seems to have rocked him just a little. And that's the end of the round. So Bad Superman gets to decide who goes next. I think he's going to
Does he
keep
need to
up the
roll
fight.
the damage for me?
No, it's a die size rating. So it's under stress, under physical. You'll just select D6.
Oh, I see.
And once it gets to D10 is the highest amount you can have and still be in the fight. Once it gets past D10, then you're
Okay,
out
so
of
it's more
you're
like a
locked out of the fight.
counter. That,
Yeah, it's just a counter
yeah. All right.
counting up.
It's not rolled.
Not
Okay.
D10, D12, I'm sorry. The max die size D12 is the highest amount of stress you can take before you're knocked out of the
Okay,
fight.
I remember now. From
Yeah.
at the table, you just put one out in front of you on the table and use it as a count up to show how much stress you've taken.
Yeah. Awesome. So he, at the end of the round, is going to get Superman to go again because he's focusing in on you and wants you to use up your action quick before anybody else has a chance to help.
Okay.
Let me double check. So because the game master can interact with Doom sometimes, but as the watcher, you can do that. I don't think players can interrupt. No. All right, Superman, what are you gonna do?
What am I gonna do? Well, what do you guys want to do? Do you
Well,
want me
it's your
to?
turn.
I could try to pin him, and then you guys can try to attack him.
Optic blast him. I think.
Okay, I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try to get him in some kind of restraint hold to make it easier for everybody else to hit him.
Okay.
So I guess that'd probably be strength. Yeah. Combat. Team. Man of Steel. Uh,
Another one. Oh, that was from last time. Okay.
Bam.
Ooh,
Nice, big hit, big 20. Oh, another one.
big hit though.
Another D6 for me. All right, and then let me roll. His defense is not that good. Let's see.
Mm.
Oof. 7, definitely not going to do it. Oh, and he rolled a 1, so that means you guys, somebody can activate an opportunity off of that. Which, yeah, you can. So the way that using an opportunity works,
Mhm.
let me just double check. Um, So if a 1 comes up on any of the Watcher dice, you can spend 1 plot point to activate the opportunity. Um, which is basically you can give yourself a D8 as a push or a D10 as a stunt if you're using your power in a special way.
Okay.
But he is going to basically just tank the hit and use his Superman Kryptonian invulnerability to ignore the physical stress of getting punched, which takes away from the Doom pool, so it's good for you guys. but he kind of shrugs it off.
Oh, I was trying to like grab him.
Oh yeah, you were trying to grab him. I guess he can't do that. Never mind. I'm sorry. I'm trying to cheat. So he will. Well, what else could he do? I think in that case, um, so his effect is a D10 and yours is a D10. So yeah, I think it'll be a D8 complication on him, basically, for whoever's going next.
Okay. So who's going next? BJ.
Um, let you blast him, and then see if then Wonder Woman can come in with the finish up
Okay.
with the.
Yeah. So I'll use the plot point to get the push or stunt. What is it? Stunt. What do you mean? How does
So
that?
stunt is a power stunt, basically. It's anytime you're using your powers in a new and special way that we
Okay. Yeah,
haven't seen
I
before.
don't think so. So it'd just be a push, but I don't know if that's worth it then. I already have 3D8 and a D10, so 4D8 is not gonna. No, I won't use
Well,
it.
a regular so having more dice even at lower levels can be good because they're more likely to roll high, right? Because what
Oh,
you
that's
want,
true.
right,
That's
is
true. Yep.
your effect die. Hypothetically, you want the biggest result you can get without using your biggest dice in the pool, so
Right.
your effect die can be big.
I'll do it. I'll use that. I'll use the opportunity one, and then Amy, you can use the complication one. All right. Here. Yeah, that's
So
good
yeah,
though.
a 13 with your D10 as
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
effect.
Hmm.
All right, he's going to roll to tank it. Oh no,
Dang.
got his
Okay.
big Kryptonian D12.
Yeah.
You know,
All right.
vision optic blast into him doesn't seem to have affected him that much,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Might have to try to like do some weird, scary stuff that because you would think that's like he's Superman is generally vulnerable to like psychic stuff, right?
Yeah, he's not very good against various mystical or
Yeah,
telekinetic stuff. So
yeah, because I can menace him or something, stress him out that way. Okay,
yeah,
that's
that's
an
a good
idea.
idea.
All right, I have some other ideas
All
because
right,
there's some overturned cars to stretch and pick up
there's some
and
overturned
throw.
cars. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
you passing it to Amy?
Yeah, to Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. All right, Wonder Woman.
Mhm.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Your highest die total, so your D12 from your strength. Yeah, no worries. Nice. Excellent. Yeah, yeah.
I got a one.
Well, so here's another case where your D10 is your effect die. So you got a 1 on. Oh no, you can't use that because you got a 1. I'm sorry. So that's a little more doom, but you're getting a D8 effect die that is stepped up to a D10 because of your sword. You could also use a plot point and have your total result be a 20, right? By adding
that's 6.
that
Yeah.
6 that rolled on a D8. So that could be useful if you want to make sure you hit in. You just clear your plot point, and we use the 6 on a D8 that you already rolled, and we add that to the result. So now your result is 20. Excellent, nice, and a 20 with a D10 of effect. Pretty ferocious.
Yeah. Oof.
Oh no, look at him. Yeah, that's a
Oh
stepped
wow,
up.
you got 3 like. Wow. 3.
Yeah, let's do, just because that seems like a big misplay for him. He's gotten seriously smacked by Wonder Woman. I'll just do, since there's 3 of you guys, let's do 1 plot point for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately,
Mm.
Superman is still really tough. So he's going to use up a die from the Doom pool to negate physical stress. So he's used up a little bit. But now it's his turn. And what's he going to do? I think he's just going to do a big area attack, because that's one of the things he can do. He can just attack everybody.
It depends.
No, he's doing area effect the way that the Flash would, where he's just flying through each person to try to punch him real quick.
Okay.
So no bracelets for defend, but you can still use your big D12 durability defense for sure. 8, and then add that. Then he's going to do 10, D10, D6, and 6. Yeah, that's his pool. Yes, that's his pool.
Would we use combat or covert? I guess it doesn't matter. It's a
Combat for defense here, I think. Covert
Okay.
is more for out of action scenes. Okay, so he's doing an 18 effect, an 18 strength attack. Basically, each of you, so everybody's gonna have to roll defense. He's gonna use a D10 against other Superman, our Superman. He's gonna use a D8 against Wonder Woman and a D6 against Martian Manhunter
Okay.
for his effect. What are you trying to do? Here. No worries. So everybody is going to need to roll a defense against.
Yeah. I'll use the reflexes, I think.
You can use either, whichever one of the two, whichever fits better for what you're doing, please.
13. I could use that plot point to, right? I could use a.
Yeah, you could use that plot point to turn that into a 19. So you
Yeah,
can
I
succeed
think I
with
will do that.
defense.
I will do that.
Nice. Wonder Woman with a 16. Not enough. So you're right now taking a hit of the D8 level. A D8 physical stress, yes. All right, and then BJ, we need your Superman's defense. Say again, Amy? Oh,
I will use my plot point now to.
tank the hit.
Yeah.
Classic. All right. So that's the end of the round. Bad Superman getting knocked around a bit, but he's pretty ferocious. And all of you, there's a sort of lull in the battle as he goes, trying to strike each of you, and then zips away for a second, almost like he's catching his breath. And each of you, in a moment, feel very strange, just like a burst of sort of disorientation and nausea, only for, maybe a second or so, but just for a moment, you feel this kind of weird, uneasy feeling that comes over you in the midst of the battle. But it seems that he feels it too, because he kind of shakes his head in a weird way and says, "What have you done? What do you do? What is this new weapon?"
That's weird.
All right. So Superman gets to decide. I don't think he can choose to go again at the end of the round, because that seems, well, I guess at the end of the round. For the start of the round, he's going to go again, and he's going to try to smack Wonder Woman for that. Seems like with only one enemy, that's part of what happens. All right. All right. His attack, trying to smack Wonder Woman. A 14 with a 10 effect. Yeah, gotta do all your stuff. And this is also a really good time, perhaps, to use your. I guess you can't use second wind for now, but you could use it on your action. Yeah, not for the reaction, but for your action. Uh, if you're trying to, well, I don't think you can. Well, but you can still use, so you could use your durability die from Amazon Artifacts to try to block basically with the bracelets. You just don't get the special effect.
Can Carl, can you make other people intangible?
I cannot.
I think.
Don't think so. I can. But if she gets messed up, I might. Well, you want to beat up. You got to beat a 14, so you want to roll high. So
Yeah, probably bigger dice on
bigger
this
dice. Yeah.
one.
Hmm.
Nice. A 16. Right. So evil Superman smashes down big, classic Superman, both arms trying to smack down onto you, but you catch the blow with your Amazonian bracers. And I guess he's going to have Martian Manhunter go next.
Okay. All right. So Martian Manhunter is gonna try to scare him using his telepathy.
Nice.
So I guess my pool is well, the team pool, the most dangerous team member, telepathy, and then menace, I guess. So that see how this goes. Maybe he's gonna even try to say that he's done it, then your mind will be melted as I dig into it or something like that. As I all right. It's
Nice. Nice. And he
uh
has, as you might imagine, for Superman, basically no powers that help with mental stuff. So he's looking at a paltry 3-die defensive pool. So
yeah, it's a good
let's
thing I did
see.
it. It's a D8 effect. So
Nice. Yeah, D8 effect. Nice. Nice. Yeah. So D8 effect means that he's going to take up to D8 mental stress, I think.
mm.
Yeah. So we can see what is Martian Manhunter. I don't know how specifically we visually represent his scary mental abilities happening.
Well, just like I mean, I
think he
much
sees
like
Doomsday.
I don't know. I don't know. Just Justice Lord. I don't know. Maybe Justice Lord is probably the scariest thing for like these guys is like that they become weak and their muscles and bones start to deteriorate. Its teeth fall out, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I imagine him aging rapidly in his mind.
yeah, yeah. He's got this vision of life as things fall apart for him, and I took a big mental stress. So that is not very good for bad Superman. And you get to choose who goes next, Carl.
I'll go to see who should. I'll go to Wonder Woman has gotten a little beat. Both of you guys have gotten beat up, huh? Shoot.
Yeah.
I'll go to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, so one of your abilities, it's a trade-off, but basically you can get rid of all of your physical stress, but you put your physical stress die into the Doom pool. Yeah, so your whatever effect you use for your power. Nice. Well, when it goes down by one for the sword, you can cancel that out. So yeah, we'll just leave it. The sword won't take away from it because you've got a step up that balances that out.
The best part about dice pool games is it's like casting fireball every time you do something.
Yeah. Well, it's really good.
How many dice can I add into this? Oh wow.
Oh boy. Huge hit. Um, yeah, so the 22 trying to smack him, and let me physical stress. Okay, so that's pretty ferocious because so you're doing essentially a D12 of stress stepped up. Um, so, okay. Well, and then he's gonna use some of the Doom Pool. He's gonna use a bunch of the Doom Pool, actually. Oh, nice. So he's gonna do. So we're gonna take this down. All right, so he's gonna put it all on one big defensive roll, basically.
Hmm?
Ooh, 18, not enough to stop it, and uses his D8. Yeah, and he used up. He is down to a paltry single D6 of the Doom Pool because he used so much, and he's gonna have to use that to cancel out your damage from as Superman. So we're down to no Doom Pool at all.
Get him, Superman.
So
And
there we
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Kryptonian power and physiology unleashed. Double a Kryptonian power die.
Yeah.
Oof.
If it fails, you add that. You get that into your. So if this doesn't work, you'll get a D12 for the Doom Pool. But
Yeah, I figured this was coming.
and I'm gonna spend my other PowerPoint to make it an opportunity stunt because she just walloped him and he, yeah,
Nice,
just basically
nice.
just slam like complete. So let's see. I got my power. That. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yeah. I've got my defensive dice already.
Oh,
Oh, you
Oh
got. Oh my
no.
gosh.
Okay, so do you have any more PowerPoints or plot
I
points?
used it to. I used it. I used my last one to. Yeah, I've used that. That's my second one. I used it for to add a die to the pool.
Oh no,
Yeah.
terrible.
Oh well, he could whiff.
Well,
He could still whiff.
yeah,
We'll
yeah, you
see.
can still roll bad. Let's
If not, you
see.
get to put a.
Just enough. So BJ gets a success.
yeah, you get the
BJ
success
gets
speech.
Okay, so he didn't get that doom die. Then his doom pool's still empty.
so he gets one from your roll, but I'll have that
Okay.
resolve at the end. So he
All
gets
right.
one D6 of doom, but he just took literally the biggest hit somebody can take without being all the way taken out with a D12
D12, yeah.
physical stress. Uh smacked as hard as it'll go. So yeah, Superman, Wonder Woman smacks at him with the sword. Doesn't seem to have quite as much effect as she hopes, but clearly gets him off balance because Superman comes in and just wallops bad Superman, sends him flying backwards. Yep. And our Superman gets to decide who goes next.
Um,
And
Martian
that
Manhunter.
creates the
Yeah.
top of the round. Everybody can go.
Okay. I wonder if I should, if he got knocked back, I wonder if I should supersonic flight to try to like knock him further down.
Yeah, you can definitely knock him
So
around
Yeah.
some
I'll
more.
do like
I
the
think.
multi power
Yeah.
thing, but yeah. So it'll be a D. So if
Yeah.
I do that, I can do like a multi power thing.
Yeah, you can
So
do
Yeah.
then
however
I'll
you
do
better.
it'll be a D, become a D10 and a D8.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 for that, a D10, another D8, and then geez, 2 more D8 for the fight, for the punch. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. I think that's right. Let me see, make sure. D8, D8. D10. Yeah, D10, another D8. So it's 3D8. And then two for fighting. It's going to be so 48. Yeah, 48 and a D10. Okay. Okay. Let's see what happens. 16, not too bad.
Nice.
Nice.
All right.
D8 effect though. That's okay.
Yeah, so the way that stress works is neat because basically if you do a higher die worth of stress than what they currently have stress, it goes up to that level. If you
Mhm.
do any stress and their stress is higher, it just gets bumped up. So this could be enough to take him down.
Okay.
Although,
Mhm.
if he
I
doesn't
got a
get taken
DM.
down, there's one in the doom pool, isn't there? All right, so he um so I think it'll essentially even out because he'll use the last one in the Doom pool from BJ's roll to cancel out physical stress. Although, actually, you should get so on consecutive attacks, you're supposed to get the die from the stress also. Um, so for the next one, yeah, I think that's what it'll do. Is Doom pool will be empty. He's been able to just barely hold on. But you smack him around and he is looking pretty furious, as you might imagine.
Okay. Mhm. All right.
So now you get to give it to whoever else.
So when I fly directly at the most powerful enemy on the field, does that give me that's one of my XP things. Does those translate automatically into power plot points or how does that work?
So you get an XP for it, and then you can turn XP into plot points whenever you want, basically.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh,
I think I'm going
So I
to.
think I think that one specifically doesn't count for this fight because it's supposed to be for your opener.
Oh yeah, opener. Okay,
You have to start off charging at whoever,
got it.
not whenever you engage with whoever's
And I
oh,
didn't.
then I have one more. I have one more plot point then that I can pull an XP
Oh,
for
nice.
Oh yeah. One more plot point.
because I started
Nice.
off talking about Krypton.
Yep, yep. Trying to discuss
I want to do
Krypton.
that then.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Carl, who's going next?
So I feel like I ask Kal-El if he can do that again. But he just did.
I certainly can.
All right. So I'll let Kal-El try to finish him off.
Nice.
And then let's see, 12, 12. Um,
And then he gets a D12 on top of that because of the stress.
Yeah, Superman, Justice Lord Superman
oh,
is beaten up. So Justice League Superman gets an extra D12 of his stress level.
oh, wow.
Nice.
Oh, but D12 is a effect dice on this one.
And D12 is the effect dice. All right, let's see
Oh, he got
if
me
he
another
can stay
Doom.
alive. He's getting one more Doom. Nope. All right, so we see Justice League Superman again after Martian Manhunter knocks him around. They're just doing the classic team up. Manhunter flies in, smacks into Justice Lord Superman, sends him flying, and then Justice League Superman grabs him and smashes him down into the ground, into the dirt. Justice Lord Superman looks woozy as he's standing, sort of trying to get back onto his feet to keep fighting. And you see this strange kind of golden glow around him, and he shouts, "No, no, I can still fight!" As he is back to his own dimension, apparently, through presumably some high technology. You might guess wielded by Justice Lord's Batman or somebody like that, um, pulled out of this dimension, and thus the Justice Lords have been driven back from Earth, and the world is safe
Nice.
for a little while. Mhm. Yeah, there's a lot of moving
A little
parts to the
fun.
system
Yeah,
clearly.
clearly.
Uh,
That was cool. Okay.
but yeah, so that is going to be assuming that we play another session, the rest of the campaign picks up 7 years later as the
Mm.
Justice League is attempting to help pick up the pieces of all of the things that have happened, both in the Justice Lord's invasion and in its aftermath. And there's a bunch of one of the cool things with this campaign, I thought, is that there's a bunch of missions basically based on all of the various villains of all the different characters. So there's like a Wonder Woman villains arc and a Superman villains arc, and I
Neat.
don't know if there's a Manhunter one, but there's definitely Batman villains arcs because there are lots of Batman villains that people like.
Yeah.
We can use some combination of whoever to see who from the rogues gallery ends up being opposed to our
Yeah.
heroes when we get
Martian
there.
Manhunter isn't really known for his extensive rogues gallery.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think he. No one
It's
dislikes Martian Manhunter.
it's the White Martians and that's it.
yeah. Well, that's what happens when you're. I mean, I would say that's
Sole
what happens when
survivor.
you're the
Yeah.
last one, but we can see how Superman gets his own rogues
Yep.
gallery
Yep.
being the last
True
one.
that.
But yeah, so that is the end of everything you hold dear. The prologue to Suffer the Children from
Mm,
DC Heroic Roleplaying.
cool.
Superman from the Justice Lords
Wow. Yeah, that was
sent
good.
back
It's fun. I
to the
like the
jail
system.
later.
I like the system. It's neat. I'd never played the system before, so I really enjoy the. I always like that kind of like building. Yeah, I like lots of moving parts. Not that I like super crunchy games. I like moving parts, and you can, it reminds me of like the game called Lex Arcana, where you can use different types of dice to make your pool. I kind of like that idea. Maybe I don't
Yeah,
know.
I like this. I think looking back, a different villain than Superman might have been a more fun fit because the way that the Superman's power effect works for the heroes, using one plot point to get rid of all of the stress on an effect is a big spend.
Mm,
For the GM using a single Doom die from the Doom pool, which often has like 3 or 4 dice in it, is not
yeah.
nearly as big of a spend.
Mm,
Um, so it felt like towards the end, I was trying to figure out how to change things up, have him use his Doom a little bit less efficiently, and not just try to wear you out from attrition because that's the problem with using that. But I thought it was fun. Yes,
yeah,
I
it's
really
good.
like having putting all the big dice pools together. I'm sure it's really fun in person when you're holding just like a handful of dice on a big
Hmm.
attack, things like that. So yeah,
Neat.
well,
Yeah, yeah, I guess if it had
yeah.
gone
Yeah.
longer, I was going to try to use some like, stretch and use some of these overturned cars and throw them and
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of ways to use some of the other abilities, and a lot of
Mhm.
the characters have, right? You can imagine some of the characters have a lot more. Like Green Lantern
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
have
shit.
huge dice in anything, but his dice can be used for almost anything, right? That he can just
Hmm.
be like, yeah, I'm just going to create something weird to use in a funky thing.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
if Hobbs had been able to join us, he was going to play Green Lantern,
Oh, cool.
um,
Cool.
which is why I had him
I
on
thought
the
about playing
splash screen.
Flash, but just given what week it is, we had to have Superman, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yep,
that's
yep.
great.
Well, it's cool because I will say one thing that's cool about having all the heroes be pre-gens is it's really easy to just switch out if you're playing for a campaign like this, right?
Hmm.
To
Yeah.
just we're going to do Justice League so like we could do much like the show, do like an episode that's Green Arrow and Black Canary doing their own little thing while other stuff is
Yeah.
happening,
Oh
things like
yeah,
that.
cool.
But yeah, cool,
Oh,
cool.
Dr. Fate.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, Dr. Fate. He doesn't have any rules, but he was also going to show up to save you guys if evil Superman had been winning. Appropriate. Seems like
You, you
he would
mentioned the
be.
yeah. You mentioned the Justice League uh Unlimited series, and it'd be fun to play the Question.
Yeah,
That'd
yeah,
be
He was,
good
he
one
yeah.
was a
too.
great character in
Be a good
that
fit.
series.
Or
Yeah,
even
yeah.
it was really a fun up was I can't remember which series it was, but I know it was Justice League where it was like Wonder Woman and was it Wonder Woman and who was it that went with her back into the West, the old West? Was it
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a
there's
recent
some
one.
great.
That's in the new DC animated universe. It's the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
There's some great like period piece episodes of the Justice League stuff. There's the one Vandal Savage takes over in an alternate version of the past, and
Mhm.
Superman and Wonder
One of my
Woman
favorite
and
ones.
Green Lantern are
Yep.
all in World War II, different World War II.
Mm,
Yeah,
And that would be a lot of fun.
that's a
Cool.
good that last DC animated universe iteration was pretty cool.
cool. All right. Well, so thank you so much.
I think the one is that the one where John Constantine does a bunch of stuff. Yeah, he's
Yeah, Constantine's doing stuff. Yeah, it's neat. Yeah, thank you so much, Arlen. This is really cool. A good, a nice little addition to our gaming, I guess, wheel repertoire.
Yeah.
So nice.
Cool. Yeah. I'm glad. I felt like it was a whole lot of explaining up front, but it seems like we got into
That's
it
fine.
as
That's
it
fine. That's
got
good.
in.
That'll
yeah.
people like that. They don't like us
Cool.
talking at the end, but like we're doing.
Well.
But too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Cool.
it's great. I had never played, so I really enjoyed it. I love learning
Excellent.
new game systems. I mean, that's a fun thing to do. So thank you so much, Arlen, for running DC, a DC version of the Marvel Heroic Roleplaying. Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Well, good night and good rolling, everyone. Thanks again, Arlen.